Alright guys and girls, welcome back to Let's Play Professor Layton versus Phoenix, Wright. Where we left off, the case is heating up. We're pointing the finger at greyerl. Maya didn't do this. We're gonna figure out how the trial takes on the next part. Well, on this part, you know what I mean. What happens on this part. Let's do it. So, it's gotta be that, young butler? I know what you're thinking. I couldn't quite believe it at first either. But the evidence and circumstances all point to the butler. He or she has to be the witch. At least, it'll be certain if the magic gems turns out to be a fake. But if that's the case, then Belduke's murder was also... Yeah, it would be greyerl. Greyerl. No, it can't be true. He wouldn't have done that. Spella? I know Jean. He held Sir Belduke in the greatest of respect. Jean didn't kill him, I'm sure of it. Jean Greyerl. Are you really what people think you are? There's still so many unknown factors in this trial. It's Luke. I'm sorry, Maya. What I did is unforgivable. What are you saying, Luke? All you did was testify about what you saw. But I should have trusted you. Well, you trust us now, right? Maya. Anyway, Luke, it was thanks to you that we discovered new information. Thanks to me? Sure, you got Cracker to testify. That was a great idea. I wish I could talk to animals, don't you too, Spella? Oh yes, I'd love to have a chat with Eve. So, Luke, will you teach us how to do it, pretty please? Yeah, of course, I can try. Yay, that's a promise, right? Mr. Wright. What is it, Luke? Do you mind if I join you from now on? Not at all, Luke. I realized during the trial that in this strange town, even what you see with your own eyes may not be real. That's why I'm not giving up yet. Professor, I know he'll return. We can't give up hope. You know, that's what I've been thinking too. Really? I have a feeling he'll reappear again when we get into trouble and help us out. Because, I mean, it's the professor we're talking about here. Right. And remember what he always says. Look forward to the future. Always look on the bright side. I don't think it was the professor who said that. Defender, accused. The intermission's over. Return to the courtroom. Let's go. It's time to bring this trial to a close. Oh, I have something for you, Mr. Wright. Here, please, take it. Maybe it'll come in handy in the trial. A letter, huh? Let's see, who's it from? Wait, Newton Belduke. There are several sheets of parchment inside, but they're all blank. The professor and I got this when we went to see the storyteller. Thank you, Luke. The more info we have, the better. You're welcome. That's gonna come in handy, most likely. I've got no proof that it was Jean Greyerl who turned the professor into gold. Even if the magic gem is a fake, it's still not decisive evidence. I don't know what will happen next, but I do know this battle's far from over. We will now resume the trial of Maya Fey. First things first, the occult crime analysis have finished examining the evidence. They have tested the 2 magic gems from the witch's scepter. Gold ore floated on the surface of the water, whereas Famalia sank. It was said that genuine magic gems float in pure water, wasn't it?
Thus it has been established that the Famalia magic gem is a fake. Order! Order! Order in the court! This does not prove that gold door was used, of course. Nonetheless, the defense's theory does not seem more plausible. Does now seem more plausible. The court considers it worth looking into. You have no objections to that, do you, Inquisitor Barnum?
No, my lord.
Now then, bring in the witness.
Witness, state your name and profession. My name is Jean Greyerl. I serve the late Master Belduke. Since his death, I have been tending to his dwelling and putting his research materials in order. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's something a bit different about Greyerl today.
Witness, there's something we need to clarify first of all. As you are no doubt aware, you have been accused of being a witch.
Therefore, it is vital that you tell us. Are you a boy or a girl? Please, hold on.
Why? What is it?
Excuse my rudeness, my lord, but at this time, I do not intend to answer that question. Why do you refuse to answer, witness? I had been following this trial from the gallery, and so am fully aware of the utterly absurd accusations made against me. Alchemy, the art pursued by Master Belduke, is concerned with the rules and logic that govern nature. As someone who had been helping Master Belduke for quite some time, I dare say your theory is both illogical and impossible.
Objection!
The witch's scepter was thrown into the crime scene through a portal created by the magical spell Godor. That portal could only have been opened from your room. And what's more, one of the walls in your room is painted green. I believe anyone is free to paint their walls in whichever color they please. Besides, your theory relies on one magic gem being a fake. While that may have been proven true, another question has arisen. Where could the genuine magic gem be? It must have been swapped with the fake one and discarded somewhere. I'm afraid that's impossible. Why? If we assume, as you have claimed, that the witch used the spell Godor, that would mean the magic gem must have been swapped after creating the portal. So tell me, when and where would the witch have disposed of the magic gem? I see your point. Several people paid witness to the incident, and the Knights of the Inquisition arrived at the scene immediately after. During that time, no one left the building and the whole place was meticulously searched. Naturally, my room was searched as well, although there was not much to see as I have few personal belongings. Despite our inspection, nothing resembling a magic gem was found. I assure you, we have not overlooked anything. I would swear to it on my honor as a knight. So, Mr. Wright, if you wish to accuse me of being a witch, should you not first prove that there is a connection between me and this missing magic gem? Furthermore, I would appreciate it if you could please approach the matter in a rational way, like an alchemist. The house was searched very soon after the crime. If the gem wasn't found, then it means Greyerl hid it somewhere. Somewhere the Knights of the Inquisition would not have looked. Where could it be?
The witness has made a valid argument. How will the defense respond?
The knights who searched Sir Belduke's premises weren't looking for a magic gem. That's why. There's a certain place they didn't consider searching.
Interesting. You really don't give up easily, do you?
In that case, perhaps you could tell us all where the magic gem is? Sir Belduke's premises were thoroughly searched. I don't think anything would have been missed there. You anticipated that, and that's why you hid it in a blind spot that you knew wouldn't occur to the knights. Blind spot, you say? Well, where is it? It's somewhere on Jean Greyerl's person.
But what? It's on the witness.
Don't tell me the witness has it in their pocket. You're just guessing, aren't you? You think you can just say anything you like? By the way, I'm afraid there are no pockets in my clothing. This is the second time I've seen greyerl today. Both times I've had a feeling that something wasn't quite right. Maybe it's just me, but it could be related to the whereabouts of the magic gem.
Show us the location of the magic gem. Where do you think this witness hid the magic gem on the day of the crime?
Got it!
Witness. We met for the first time at Sir Belduke's premises. At that time, you had an amethyst attached to your collar.
Oh, that's right. Mr. Greyerl always wears that gemstone.
Alchemists believe that amethysts emit positive energy. Amethysts are purple. But when I saw you in the waiting room this morning, the gemstone you were wearing was green, not purple. So my question now is, where has it gone? Where is that amethyst that you supposedly always wear?
Objection!
Wait just a minute. The witness wears a purple gemstone?
Something amiss, Inquisitor Barnum?
When we arrived at the crime scene, the witness came out to meet us. I recall the witness wearing a gemstone, but that gemstone was green.
Green. Amethysts aren't green, although amateurs sometimes mistake praciolite for amethyst, but that's irrelevant now.
Witness, you've been trying to pin the blame on the defendant. In order to do that, you replaced the Godor magic gem with a regular gemstone.
We thought the witch who killed Sir Belduke had used the spell Famalia. You knew that if a witch's scepter with the Famalia and Goldor magic gem attached was discovered at the crime scene, the suspect would be accused of committing both crimes, and that's precisely what happened. The girl captured at the crime scene was accused of slaying both Sir Belduke and Sir Layton.
That was your plan. You removed the Godor magic stone from the scepter and inserted your amethyst in its place. Then, you attached the Goldor gem to your collar. That's why, when we saw you shortly after that incident, you were wearing a green gemstone. To think that was in fact a magic gem.
Order! Order! Witness, is that true?
He's really calm, or she, for that
This
matter.
amounts to nothing more than conjecture. I do not believe you have any solid proof. However, I have to concede that you have surmised a logical connection between me and the missing magic gem. Consequently, I am prepared to answer your questions.
Good. I will repeat what I asked you previously. Witness, state your name, profession, and finally, your gender.
My name is Jean Greyerl. I have been serving the late Master Belduke. As you can see, I wear a butler's outfit. But the truth is, as the defense claims, I am a girl.
Oh. There's a long hair.
A girl? Unbelievable.
What? The butler is a girl?
Told you.
Order! Order! Order in the court. Jean Greyerl, are you declaring to this court that you are in fact female?
Yes.
But everyone in town was under the impression that you are a boy.
Did you hear that? The butler's a girl. Doesn't that make him a maid? I knew there was something suspicious about him. I mean her. You know why, right? Think about it. All that alchemy, that's mighty suspicious. Just listen to them. Listen to the wild gossip and accusations. Alchemists pursue knowledge of the rules that govern nature. But to the townspeople, alchemy is no different to magic. Had they known I was a girl, they would have taken me for a witch. That's what Master Belduc was worried about. He told me it would be safer to pretend to be a boy. In other words, you disclose that you're a female but deny that you're a witch. I would have thought that was obvious. She knew that once her gender came into question, she wouldn't have been able to conceal it. That's why she's made this public now. It was the most rational choice for her. Inquisitor Barnum, may I ask you one question? Has all the evidence in this Golden Gentleman case already been presented?
Why do you ask?
As it stands, you do not have a single piece of evidence proving that I am a witch. Given the lack of pertinent evidence against me, I would like to be permitted to return to my duties.
What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? It has been proven that the two gems were swapped. However, it may have been possible for the accused to have done so.
Objection!
Maya had no reason to swap the gems.
This is a place of judgment. There is no need for us to understand the reasons behind a criminal's actions. Huh? After all, those whom we judge are otherworldly creatures. They are witches. It is impossible for a human being to understand the reasoning of a witch.
Is there something we can do? At this rate, Maya will be... Barnum still thinks Maya is a witch. We've made it this far, and yet it feels like we're back at a stage 1. It seems there are no more rational arguments against me. Now, if you will kindly excuse me. I don't have much on greyerl when it comes to the professor's case. But should I just let her go? There's nothing else I can follow up on regarding the professor's case. So what can I do? There's only one other option. Miss Greyerl, I have to ask you to remain at the witness stand. Is there something else you wish to ask me? Your testimony is not over yet. There's still something you need to tell us about. Mr. Wright, I'm afraid I cannot help you. I have told you all I could about this incident. And I'm afraid you've got the wrong idea, Miss Greyerl. Your Honor, what this witness needs to testify about is not the professor's unfortunate incident, but rather the incident from 3 months ago, namely Sir Belduc's death. As she was present in the building at the time, working as a live-in butler, she needs to testify about the events of that day.
About Sir Belduc's death?
The fact that one of the magic gems was swapped leads me to a single conclusion. Both crimes, the murder of Sir Belduc and the transmutation of the professor, were the work of the same witch. The truth behind the alchemist's death may also hold the answer to this case.
What is your opinion on this, Inquisitor Barnum? I'll allow you to have your way this time, Sir Blue Knight. The Inquisition has no objections.
Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum, it seems you have lost that unyielding attitude so admired by the townspeople. Here you are now letting a novice defender lead you by the nose. It is hard to believe you have been known as the unwavering sword of justice for your usually cool-headed judgment.
You know little about me, witness. Do you think I care about defending my name? It is this town that I wish to defend. Sir Belduke's murder is the only case to have remained unsolved for so long. Jean Greyerl, you shall now testify about it.
Uh-oh. Look at that freaking cold smile. I can't wait to make her break. I just get all emotional.
As demanded by both the defense and Inquisition, the witness will testify about Sir Belduke's death. Any questions? No, my lord. I must however mention one more thing before we begin. If it cannot be proven that Jean Greyerl is a witch, as claimed by the defense, the court will irrevocably consider Maya Fey to be the witch responsible for both crimes. Is that understood? You have no choice, Sir Blue Knight. If you don't want the trial to end right now, ready your sword and face the challenge that awaits. But the opponent is a real witch. It's a gamble that puts Maya's life at stake.
Nick? Nick?
Maya?
No witch is gonna outwit you in court. You're an ace attorney after all.
Maya!
So, let's do it.
The defense accepts the conditions. Let's proceed with the trial. Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin. We shall start with a brief summary of the incident. About 3 months ago, in the dead of night, Sir Belduke the alchemist was murdered. The crime took place in his study. Just as with this incident, the room had been locked from the inside. The victim was found still seated in the chair at his desk, so we can assume he was attacked while working. There were very clear strangulation marks visible on his neck. Oh, there's something trickling down from his mouth. Is that blood? Yes, most likely. The victim probably bit his tongue as he was struggling with his
Assailant. AKA assistant.
And you said earlier that some white powder was spilled all over the floor, correct? Yes. Hence we expected to find the killer's footprints. However, there were none. The killer must have somehow approached the victim without stepping on the floor. After murdering Sir Belduke, the killer left the room without opening the door. Undoubtedly, the crime must have been committed with the use of witchcraft. The body was discovered the following morning by the butler, Miss Greyerl. The body was found by Greyerl. Thank you, Inquisitor Barnum. The court illustrator's sketch will be added to the evidence. Now, witness, begin your testimony. Tell us about the events spanning the night of the crime, from the evening beforehand until you discovered the body.
At around 1 o'clock at night, I excused myself and left Master Belduke in his study. When I called him for breakfast in the morning, he did not respond. The door to his study was locked. A neighbor had come for a visit just then, so we forced the door open together. All the potions and other concoctions from the study have been confiscated. I wonder if they're being properly stored. Potions and concoctions were confiscated. The victim was an alchemist, after all. We were hoping the items confiscated from his study could provide some clues. Besides, such things must not fall into the wrong hands. It may not be standard practice, but it was deemed necessary. The confiscated goods are stored in our secret vault. The only person with access to them is the High Inquisitor, Lady Darklaw. It has caused me great difficulty, as I have not been able to put Master's research materials into order. As a result, the confiscated items shall be returned as soon as Sir Belduke's murder is resolved. I shall be looking forward to that.
Defense, you may begin the interrogation.
Now, I know that letter is going to play into this. I think that powder is probably what's needed to read what's on the letter, because Belduke wouldn't send a letter that had nothing, like nothing on it, to the storyteller or whatever. Let's see. So I only got 1 life. I gotta be careful here. Alright.
Hold
Let's
it!
just press a bunch of stuff. So you last saw him alive at 1 a.m., is that correct? Yes. Master had a habit of conducting his experiments at night, so it was the usual time for me to finish my work. Weren't you helping him with those experiments? He would sometimes have some errands for me, but alchemists generally keep their experiments a secret. That's why I would always excuse myself at that time, unless Master had some other task for me. And that night there was no more work for you. That's correct. I wished Master a good night as I shut the door, and then I heard him lock the key. There was nothing unusual about him, at least nothing I noticed. When I called him for breakfast in the morning, he did not respond. The door to his study was locked.
Hold it!
And what time was that? Master would always take his breakfast at 9 a.m., so it was around that time.
So you didn't have the key to Sir Belduke's study, is that correct?
Yes, there's only 1 key to that room, and Master always kept it with him. Master's research was a very delicate matter, you see. We had to take strict measures to prevent outsiders from entering that room. Occasionally, delinquents would try to make off with one or other of Master's medicaments. Thieves stealing from an alchemist? I can't tell if that's incredibly brave or incredibly stupid. Probably the latter. That's why the door to that room is made from thick oak wood. I wouldn't have been able to force the door open on my own. She couldn't have entered the room before that, then. A neighbor had come for a visit,
Hold it!
so we forced it together.
Wait, you mean you broke the door?
The only key to that room was in
Sir Belduke's pocket. The only way to enter the study was to break the door.
And you managed that with the help of a neighbor who came to visit? Yes. It wasn't a social visit, mind. He came as a patient.
A patient? Can you tell me more about him?
Objection!
The victim's neighbor is irrelevant. He has nothing to do with this case.
Ugh, I think you're pushing it this time. Your witness is hardly irrelevant. What's got him so shaken? It looks as if he just had a rush of blood to the head. Master Belduke has been making very potent medicines, among other things. We would get people coming from the town at all hours of the night or day, asking for them. And yet, in return for all the help Master offered, people would gossip about him dabbling in witchcraft. So you broke the door together with a neighbor? Yes. When I explained the situation to him, he brought over an axe. Then he proceeded to attack the door with a great force, smashing it into splinters. I see. By the way, about that neighbor.
Hold
He
it!
was the...
It's time for Emir's
Ah,
grand entrance.
screw you,
Did
Emir.
miss me, guys?
No. I didn't.
Order! Order! Could it be that it was you who...
Where are you looking, old man? I'm right here. And as for who I am, I'm the alchemist's neighbour and a witness in that case too.
Passion for justice seething within the mirror is always at the crime scene.
Objection!
It's you again. Yeah, you're the guy from earlier, right? Yep, that's me, Amir. Amir's the name. How have you been, Bluey? Are you really the alchemist's neighbor? Seriously? I know, right? Freaking coincidence, eh? But yeah, his house is next to mine. Ridiculed. Earlier, Amir returns, drinking like a king he never ever learns. That's why I tried to stop you from asking about the neighbor. I'm sorry, Barnum. Huh? Why so cold, Inquisitor Barnum? Unable to hold his steady, cold gaze, Amir drinks as fast as if in a daze. And the musician standing next to you? Oh yeah, that's me, Private Bard. Birdley, a Wright musical genius. Hold on. Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie me. Well, no use shutting the stable door after the horse is bolted. Let us move on. Witness, since you're already here, you may as well add your testimony. Testify about what you witnessed on the morning of that crime. You can count on me. It dawned on me. Then, the witch cast Famalia, just like in this case.
Hold it!
Can you tell me what caused that sudden realization? Sure thing. When the Inquisitors came round, I went to have a little peek at the crime scene. That's when I heard them talking about it. I was surprised, because they must have come to the same conclusion as me. Crikey, they can do their job, them Inquisitors, I thought. It had to be Famalia. So he was eavesdropping. If I happen to see that Famalia user, I arrest him myself. Witness, you're testifying in court. Can you not restrain yourself a bit? What's that? Don't you see I gotta have this to keep my spirits up? It's the most potent medicine. Just a drink Amir lives to savor with an intoxicating scent and flavor. Anyway, this is a waste of time. I should be looking for a decisive contradiction. Witness, continue your testimony. All the other potions and concoctions from the study had been confiscated. I wonder if they're been properly stored. Is that it, really? That's all they have to say, huh? I really don't expect him to appear. Maybe I should be used to it by now. Excuse me, Mr. Wright. Sorry to interrupt your train of thought. Oh, that's okay. What is it? I'm wondering if it's just me, but I've been thinking about Mr. Amir's testimony. I think what he said is a little strange, isn't it? Yeah. How can I put it? It's a pretty obvious contradictory. He was so keen to testify, maybe we should give him some attention and point those contradictions out. What a good idea, Luke.
Objection!
There's something you don't seem to understand here, Mr. Amir. The Familia gem in this witch's scepter is a fake. The gem is useless. Just like this buffoon's testimony. Huh? Therefore, your testimony doesn't hold water. Just like anything else he says. Psh. Ignored and scorned without credibility with majestic Amir now show humility. But a fake. You should have listened to the trial more carefully.
Now that has been dealt with, Inquisitor Barnum, this witch's scepter was not discovered at the crime scene when Sir Belduc was murdered. Is that correct?
Indeed. We deduce that Familia must have been used, however.
Objection!
But that Familia magic gem was a fake. That much has been demonstrated today. What's more, as we learned from the parrot's testimony, the witch used the spell Godor. The fact that there's a green wall at the crime scene corroborates that.
Objection!
That wall may well not have been painted green 3 months ago. And besides, no one could have passed through a portal so small.
To be honest, I've started wondering where Sir Layton's and Sir Belduc's murders actually committed by the same witch.
Objection!
Your Honor, I'd like to remind you that was the Inquisition's claim. He's right, though. It's gotta be the same culprit in both cases. And at the very least, it's possible that the witch used this spell Godor to commit Sir Belduc's murder. What?
In that case, I will ask the defense to show us proof.
Do you have proof that the witch could have used Godor to kill Sir Belduc? Oh yeah, that's the painting there. Okay.
Take that!
I'd like you to take a look at these. Aren't those the court illustrator's sketches? As you can see from this sketch, the victim was seated at his desk when he was murdered. And what can you see right behind the victim? A small landscape painting. Thank you, Inquisitor. But there's one more point of note. Look closely at the painting. Do you notice anything behind it?
Oh, I see it. The wall behind it had already been painted green, which means the witch could have used the portal spell there 3 months ago.
Objection!
One moment, my lord. Consider how small that portal would have been. Could a witch have passed through it? I think not.
Objection!
Of course the witch would not be able to go right through it. However, if you look at the distance between the portal and the victim, you'll notice that the victim, Sir Belduc, was sitting just an arm's length from where the portal would have been. The witch did not have to enter the room at all. All she had to do was reach through with her arms in order to strangle Sir Belduc, who was sitting right under the painting. Tell him.
Order! Inquisitor Barnum, what say you to that?
A fascinating theory, Sir Blue Knight. But there's a notable contradiction within it. Where would that be? Tell me, why do you think we concluded the Familia had to have been used? We had a certain reason for it, of course.
And what was that reason exactly?
The crime scene had been tampered with. How so? Imagine the circumstances of Sir Belduke's death, and it should become obvious even to you. The victim was choked to death. And yet there were no signs of a struggle. Highly improbable, don't you think? What are you getting at? Think about it. Can you imagine anyone just sitting back and letting themselves be strangled? Clearly there should be evidence of a struggle. Since we haven't found any trace, that must mean the killer erased all traces of a fight from the crime scene.
Indeed, that would be the logical conclusion.
Now surely it would be impossible to do any such thing had the witch only reached inside through a portal. In order to cover up the evidence she left behind, the witch had to have used a familiar. Without doing so, there would have been no point in her using the spell Gold.
Objection!
Miss greyerl could have done it. She might have been able to tamper with the crime scene. What are you talking about? The morning of the crime, from the time Miss greyerl and that guy entered the study, until the arrival of the Knights of the Inquisition, there was a window of time in which she had the opportunity to do so. We need to look into what happened in that window.
It seems we may be in need of another testimony. Witnesses testify about what happened in the time between the body being found and the Knights of the Inquisition arriving.
Sure thing. Ask me anything. I'll tell you all you need to know. Only two people accessed the crime scene in that time, greyerl and Amir. Believe it or not, Amir is the key witness in this case.
I broke down the door and saw the alchemist slumped in his chair. It gave me a jolt. The butler hurried to call the Knights of the Inquisition. He never entered the study. What did I do then? Oh yeah, I was asked to keep an eye on things. So I went in to have a bit of a look at everything. All that made me pretty drowsy. So I went and took a little nap on the couch.
Wait, what? Mr. Amir, you said the butler didn't enter the crime scene.
Yup, he never set foot in there. The moment he saw Belduke, he told me to stand guard till the Knights of the Inquisition arrived. And off he went. What a resourceful apprentice that alchemist has. I thought to myself.
I almost feel sorry for you, Sir Blue Knight. After all, your suspect couldn't have tampered with the crime scene. That can't be true.
Defense, please proceed with the interrogation.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, I'm saving it again. I gotta be careful with one freaking credibility left in this case.
Hold it!
Before you smashed the door, did you check that it was really locked?
Of course I did. We tried to get it open without resorting to brute force, but it wouldn't budge. So I went to fetch me lovely little axe.
His wooden enemy stood tall and still, yet Amir sprang forth. It was overkill. Did you think I lied about the door being locked? No, of course not. Boy, she's so sharp, she might cut herself on me. Or me, most likely.
So then I went inside. The alchemist was slumped in his chair.
While we're at it, allow me to confirm something when you entered the room. Did the victim look the way he does in this sketch?
Yep, that's it. Spot on. Nicely drawn, too. You know, at first, I didn't know if he was really dead. He looked like he just passed out or something. Tired from his research.
Hang on!
Miss greyerl, may I ask you something? Yes, what is it? What do you think about Mr. Amir's testimony? There's nothing amiss, however, Mr. Wright. I can tell what you are thinking. You can? Well, let's see if you're right. When he entered the room, Mr. Amir didn't notice that Master Belduke was dead. On the other hand, I ran straight away to call the Knights of the Inquisition, and so you suspect that I knew beforehand that Master was dead. That's what you're thinking. Your face is like an open book. But isn't that what actually happened? No. I knew something was wrong because Master had very fine manners and would never sleep in his chair. When I saw him like that, I was struck with a very bad realization. I felt certain that something terrible had happened.
I have heard about you. The word is that you're very collected and perceptive. It would seem to be the case.
It would be more appropriate to call her calculating.
Somehow I feel like you're not paying me enough attention here.
That matters not, witness. Let us proceed with the cross-examination.
Matters not, eh? No need to be so rude about it. Butler hurried to call the Knight of the Inquisition. He never entered the study.
Let's press him without going over.
I was asked to take care of the crime scene, wasn't I? So I had to, make sure everything was in order. I mean, you know? It's not like I went wild with excitement after being left in a real alchemist's room full of mysterious stuff.
I'm sure you didn't, Mr. Sticky Fingers.
And besides, she asked me to look for something. So I was doing that too.
Hang on!
Miss Greyerl, you look lost in thought. Oh, were you talking to me? Even she can be caught off guard, if I choose the right moment. You have been listening to Mr. Amir's testimony, haven't you? Yes, I have. He was asked to look for something. It was you who asked him, I assume. What did you tell him to look for? I think you're mistaken. I don't remember making any request of that sort. Huh?
No, I blew it. Were you even listening to what I said? It was a lady that asked me. The butler is a guy, you numbskull.
What? I'm confused. Is he just stupid? Did she ask him as a lady?
Hey, what's up? Why's everyone looking at me like that?
Quite a while ago, we learned that the butler, Jean Greyerl, is actually female.
What?
That's why when you said a lady asked you to search for something, we assumed it was Miss Greyerl.
What?
Daydreaming, listening, but not hearing. That look of shock is almost endearing.
Why didn't you tell me before?
Did you require a personal notification? You should have been listening to the trial.
Knight of the court, squabbling with the witnesses most unseemly. What I would like to know now is this. Who was the lady that made the request of Amir? Oh yeah, that was actually Miss,
He's absolutely certainly talking about me?
Oh, and you are?
The Mel lady?
Oh, I'm Letty. Hang on a minute. I'll get down there post haste.
But, Miss Letty, who are you precisely?
Me? Who am I? I'm Letty Mailer. I'm the courier.
The courier. A courier is a person who collects and delivers letters or packages. I know. Thanks anyway, Isabella. I wish you'd stop misreading my mind. Hold on, Miss Mailer. Do you mean it was you who irresponsibly made such a request to that troublemaker? Me? Maybe. Yes, I guess so. I asked him to help me find something. Outrageous. Why was I not informed of this? I guess no one told you. Maybe because you didn't ask. Urgh.
It seems we will need to ask you to testify, Miss Mailer. Explain to us how you were involved in this case.
Frankly, I wouldn't say I was involved in anything. Now I'm in a tight spot. I bet it's because that guy said something weird about me.
Ease up on me, lady. Like the saying goes, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. Beats being in a pickle all on your own, eh? Now then, Miss Letty Mailer, testify about that day.
That voice could make windows shatter. Sir Belduke said he'd have a letter to send, so I came by to pick it up.
Okay, so this could fail me, because I'm gonna present the letter to this one, I think.